Shalom, brothers and sisters. My question for you today that I want you to ponder on is, what does hard times do to you and God in your relationship? How does it affect that dynamic? When you're going through difficulties, and a lot of us are in various ways. Mine on a smaller sense, that I was sick now. All of you prayed. I'm feeling much better. I'm recovering well. Thank you. In that sickness and in the things happening, how does that affect my relationship with God? You as a human and in the flesh would go, but why don't I just lay hands on myself and heal myself and I'm done at the same moment? Why is this taking longer than it should? Some of you are struggling with cancer, like my mother, and battling it on extreme, right? Fighting to death's door. And you wonder, how much more can I take? How much more suffering? How much more pain? And some of you are struggling to find a place to live. Some of you are struggling with finances. Some of you are struggling with family members, with broken relationships, with attacks from previous friends and colleagues and employers and things like that in the world. And it is rough at times. And the question comes back, how do these hard times, these rough moments, these difficulties define your relationship with God? How does it feel when you pray and God says no? God decides what's best for you because He knows. He's God. And sometimes God says no to what we prayed for. These things happen because He sees the bigger picture and He knows what is best for us. I watched a preacher talking about this over the weekend when I was recovering, just going through this, and he said this amazing thing. He said, imagine if God had answered Jesus' prayer and said, yes, no problem, my son. I will take this cup from you. You don't have to suffer and die. Great for Jesus. Awesome. God answered his prayer. Terrible for all of us. All of mankind lost. But God goes, no, this cup is not going from you. You are going to go through this. You can go through this. And through this victory, all will be affected. So many will be saved. And you will rise again on the third day. So Jesus put his prayer to his Father, and he received a no. He didn't get angry. The relationship didn't sour. He wasn't upset. He accepted the answer, and he powered through what needed to be done. The relationship needs to be at the point of closeness where we are willing to accept whatever God decides, because his ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. And many times they are not aligned because we are moving in the fleshly realm and not the spiritual. We aren't placing ourselves in a place where we're thinking about things, moments, situations, people as God would. And we should be seeking his guidance. Holy Spirit, help me in this situation. Calm my spirit. Calm my fears. Let me not see this as something terrible. They talk in the New Testament of the thorn in the flesh that wasn't removed. What you are going to have this, keep it, go on. There's a reason for these things you might not see now, but you might see later. It might even be just so that you have a strong testimony to encourage and strengthen someone else down the road who desperately is going to need that strength and encouragement to push through their own trials and tribulations. And again, this time that we're living in is extreme. Everyone is feeling it from every angle, and we do all the time. And you know what? Especially in ministry, we feel that constantly, and the enemy comes from all angles. But and this is the advice I would give you, constantly remind myself, he's in my boat. It might look like he's sleeping, but you know what? I'd rather have God sleeping in my boat in the midst of the most horrific storm than not be in his boat. He's not worried. I shouldn't be worried. He will deal with the finances I need for ministry. He will deal with my health that I need to be able to go out and work and be in the field. He will deal with my family, my lost loved ones, those I'm trying to reach. He will deal with all things that come across my path. In the midst of the storm, my focus needs to be on Jesus in my boat. God with me always. And that's the important thing to remember. Don't let hard times, difficulties, trials, tribulations, and terrible things, health issues, anything else, alienate you or push you away in the flesh from God, when it should be driving you closer and deeper into the shadow of His wings. That is the safest place to be, with the shepherd, where nothing can touch us. God bless you. Stand strong and seek intimacy with God always. Shalom.